So there's this popular post that's going around that a lot of people are talking about, and of course it's starting a lot of arguments, and I think the person that posted that knew that that would be the case when they posted it, because they said if you need child support, you don't need custody. Let's argue.
Excuse me as I kiss the sky.
Now, I saw the post initially, but usually when I see men post about child support, I already know something negative is going to come out of the conversation, and I just don't feel like arguing with somebody, especially somebody that doesn't have children. And most of the time when I see a man commenting about child support, he's not talking about his own situation. He's talking about a situation that he isn't even in himself. So I just decide to leave that topic alone when I'm talking to men who don't have children, because honestly, you have no say in any of this if you don't have no kids. That's number one. Number two, I saw a young lady respond to this post by reposting this post, and she said, let me explain what he means, because I see a lot of hoes being ignorant and not listening. If you're dependent on child support, meaning you can't live without help from your baby daddy, he's saying you are not financially stable and or unprepared to raise a child. I agree to a certain extent. I don't agree you shouldn't have custody, but if you are straight up living off your child's father, you're wrong, because you wouldn't want nobody doing the same to you. Both of y'all are equally responsible for having your shit together, and you can't keep blaming deadbeat dad for your shortcomings. Now, for the record, a lot of single moms I know are divorced. They didn't just have a child out of wedlock. Let's get that out of the way. And there are also a lot of single mothers out there who have too much pride to file for child support if they are unwed mothers. But I do want to make it very clear that I don't know any woman who is capable of living off of a child support check. For some reason, men are under the impression that child support is like this big come up, like it's some bum bitches hustle. Well, I'm here to inform you that most child support payments are low as hell. The only way a chick is going to get a whole bunch of money off of child support is if her child's father is a celebrity or he's making $100,000 a year. But the average dude that's on child support isn't necessarily the best person in the world. If he was the best person in the world, a woman wouldn't even have to go to the court to file for child support to begin with. Child support is basically like a debt collection agency. Most of the men I know that keep a steady job and got a decent hustle, women aren't even putting these men on child support like that, because these men don't require that you have to do something like that. They're just taking care of their kids just naturally. Usually filing for child support is like a last resort for women, and when they do it, it's a lot of times it's out of frustration because these men aren't helping at all. She said, let me explain what he means, because I see a lot of hoes being ignorant and not listening. If you're dependent on child support, meaning you can't live without help from your baby daddy, he's saying you are not financially stable and or unprepared to raise a child. I agree to a certain extent. I don't agree you shouldn't have custody, but if you are straight up living off your child's father, you're wrong, because you wouldn't want nobody doing the same to you. Both of y'all are equally responsible for having your shit together, and you can't keep blaming deadbeat dad for your shortcomings. Now, of course, I agree with this statement. It's not like I disagree. But again, I don't think there are a lot of women out there that could be dependent on a child support payment. Most child support payments are low. Most single moms who are receiving child support, 9 times out of 10, they're working because they are the custodial parent. They're the main person that's taking care of the child, so they don't have a choice but to work. They're not going to be able to survive. I know for me, that's the case. I make way more money than my son's father, so my child support payments were definitely low because they factor in I live in California, he lives in Georgia, he's making not even half. I make like 3 times more than what he does, so of course my child support payments are only $264. But from what I'm seeing women say, most of them are only getting like $200, if that much. Like the average man that's walking around here with an average job is not paying over $200 a month in child support. The men that are paying more than that, they make so much money, and in comparison to how much money they make, what's being taken out of their check is not even a lot. So it's not really like a genuine come up at all. Even when we're sitting here and we're talking about welfare, a lot of people think that it's women out here who are living a life because they're welfare queens. They got food stamps, they got, you know, monthly payments that they're getting from the government. But you have to understand something. They're not getting a lot of money. So they're living in poverty with this stuff. They're living in the hood with this stuff. It's not like they're living in this big fancy dancy Section 8 house somewhere and getting all of their bills paid. No, they're living in poverty like that. The neighborhood isn't necessarily the best neighborhood in the world. The way that California is set up, Section 8 ain't even open here. So no one's on Section 8 from what I'm seeing. But then again, I work, so I live in a different type of environment. We don't live in poverty. I saw some interesting comments posted under this girl's comment. One girl said, I can't get a dime in child support, needless to say. I don't receive any kind of help, so these kinds of posts piss me off. But regardless, all the dudes agreeing to this bullshit, most of them are mad that they are on child support, but most are not able or willing to be the custodial parent. If there were a law, it would be a lot more children in foster care. Another girl said, at one point I was getting like $1,500 a month. I do agree that no one should solely live off child support. I had 2 kids within 12 months once I started getting that child support. I definitely didn't work for a while because it was hard to work with 3 little kids. It did what it did for the little bit of time, so I believe child support, it does help. Some situations you can't dictate or judge. Another girl said, I'm really over people coming at mothers. My baby daddy depends on me to the point where he acts like he's gotten cancer to get me to help him. Yet and still, he got 6 kids at 25, 2 were created while he was engaged, but nobody speaks on the males who should stop producing and stop being deadbeats, who don't step up to the plate and do what they need to do. It's always about the bitter baby mamas. I understand what she's saying, but highly doubt that's what dude was trying to say. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if a woman is dependent upon child support to make ends meet. Truth is, most mothers barely get enough to take care of their children, but no one is talking about the mother who gets $80 a month. What the fuck you gonna do with that? In the end, it's the child's father feels he can do better for his seed, then get the fuck up and get custody. Straight like that. So I guess they're just completely forgetting about how a woman wouldn't even need child support if a deadbeat hadn't put a huge strain on her finances by leaving her to raise a baby alone. This is stupid. This is toxic thinking. As long as she is nurturing, loving, and teaching her children, she can do what the hell she chooses with her children's money. It's not his money. It's not her money. It's child support. And she is responsible to make sure the funds are spent responsibly. An independent, big-headed, uppity, ignorant bitch came up with this. Every man should support his child financially. So now we make women feel bad for needing help. In that case, I guess neither parent needs custody because most y'all niggas paying less than $500 in back pay. Best believe you can't take care of no child with that type of salary. Is she explaining or giving her opinion? Her explanation is really poor. Depends as if you don't get child support, you and your child would die. I believe no one lives in that situation, but depend on child support to come once a week or a month. It's nothing wrong with that. We need to stop making people feel bad because they need help from the father. Reliable help. The same way you need the money to pay your bills, you need child support to help with daycare and child expenses. At the end of the day, you're taking care of that child 24/7 when it's sick, when it needs clothes, or when school calls you to pick them up and you need to miss work or school. Everyone's situation is different. We need to stop comparing ourselves with other people's situation. Another girl said, yeah, she's right. Why make children you can't care for alone? Yes, father is responsible and should be held responsible. But if you know your financial situation fucked up, why is you making them babies struggle with you? For some reason, these new age niggas have convinced women that we're supposed to be masculine and put our families on the back burner so that we can earn a living. I hate it here. So if you know your financial situation is fucked up, why put yourself in a position to have a baby? Now everybody knows I was in a messed up situation when I got pregnant after 10 years of not being able to get pregnant. So I had to literally fix whatever situation I was in immediately so I can have a stable environment for my child. My thing is, when you're talking to women about birth control and talking to women about not having children when they aren't financially stable, you need to have that same energy when you talking to these men as well. As a man, why put yourself in a position to have a baby when you're struggling yourself? How hard is it to put on a condom or get a vasectomy? You can't put yourself in this situation and then bitch about being put on child support. If you didn't want a child, do not let some woman have your sperm. It's as simple as that. I said this before and I'll say it again. Women can only get pregnant one time in a year. I don't care if she sleeps with 5 men 365 days in 1 year. She will only get pregnant one time. But if a man sleeps with 5 women, 365 days, that's over 1,800 babies. Men are very different from women. Men need to be more responsible with what they create. Women, we can't have more than 1 baby a year. Men can literally have 1,800 babies a year. Think about that. So the person who needs to have more control over their body is a man. We can't keep blaming women for the reasons why, number one, men are abandoning their children, because men are abandoning their children because that's what they're doing for them, okay? Not every single bum is walking around with a sign on his forehead that's gonna say, yo, I'm a deadbeat dad. But just like this comment right here, where this chick said that the dude had 2 babies while he was still engaged. Come on, lady. Come on, girl. You had to know he had a whole bunch of baby mamas before you start dealing with him. So women like that confuse me. Like, if you see a man and he got a whole bunch of baby mamas and he not taking care of his kids, you shouldn't be interested in dating him. I tell women all the time, that should be one thing that is a turn off to you. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just a bit extra. And he's not taking care of them. So how is he attractive to you after that? Like, that is so much of a turn off. That is so bad. Like, to me, men who do not care about their legacy, that is so unattractive to me. And a lot of people like, yo, your baby daddy, like, and I keep trying to explain to everybody, he did not come off as that type of guy at all. Like, out of the many conversations that we had, and his behavior didn't even come off as if he was that type of guy. He always seemed like he had this potential to be a better person. He always made it seem like he was the type of person who cared about his manhood, cared about his family, cared about his legacy. And so this is what made me attracted to him, especially spiritually. So the type of person this man was depicting himself as basically set the tone for why our situation is the way it is now. Man, you can't go out here selling women the dream of the picket fence and the marriage and the kids and the dogs and all this extra stuff, right? And then turn around and be mad when the woman get pregnant. You shouldn't have been pretending like that was the type of man you are. If you're not ready for kids, if you're not ready for marriage, if a chick is just sex to you, stop manipulating her into believing she's something else. Because when you tell women this, we start sculpting our lives around what the possibilities could be with you. You are really playing with somebody's life when you do that. And then not only are you playing with this woman's life, somehow children start being involved with it, and you're starting to play with their lives as well. So men have to be more careful with their behavior. Of course, sometimes shit happens. You know, people have casual flings all the time. Sometimes just, you know, shit happens, and that makes sense. But then it's a lot of men out here that are wolves in sheep's clothing, man, and they got a whole bunch of women thinking one thing when it's another. And women, you got to be careful. You got to look out for these things. But sometimes you're just not going to be able to see it. Sometimes they just really, really good at playing you. Sometimes they're really, really good at pretending to be who they claim they are, okay? Yeah, these are things that we need to think about on both sides. It's not just a one-sided thing. And for many, many, many years, people have always blamed women and put all the responsibility on women, and it's time to stop doing that. It takes 2 people to tango. It takes 2 people to make a baby, not just one person. And a child is not one person's responsibility, and it's too many men out here who have been programmed to think that it's only one person's responsibility. If you do not want children, it is so much cheaper for you to put on a condom. If you don't want children, get yourself a vasectomy. If in fact it's that serious, okay? Tell me what you think in the comment section below, okay? Have vision and stay focused, y'all.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Ladies, if you want to manage your money, get out of debt, and create financial peace and stability for your family, you can get the best finance tips for moms by visiting richsinglemama.com. There you can learn where to find the best side hustles, how to get some extra cash from home, take master classes, get parenting tips, as well as relationship advice. If you talk to the founder, Samantha Gregory, let her know that Soncerae sent you, okay? Are you a single parent in need of housing assistance? Do you need a down payment on a home or for furnishings? Well, you can reach out to Work Done Charitable Foundation. They serve single parents and underprivileged families. They have programs that are dedicated to strengthening and transforming communities by combating poverty, hunger, and improving the quality of lives for families academically, socially, and economically. They provide nutrition and wellness education, online financial education,
They also have a scholarship program for students. One of the most popular programs is called Home for the Holidays, where former NFL running back of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Atlanta Falcons, Warrick Dunn, partners with local community organizations to reduce the burden on new single-parent homeowners by fully furnishing their new home, providing down payment assistance checks, and stocking the pantry with food, all in honor of his late mother's dream of home ownership. If you'd like to donate, become a sponsor, volunteer, attend workshops or events, please visit Warrick Dunn Charitable Foundation at wdc.org. You can also contact them via email info@wdc.org, or you can place a call 470-585-1648.
Hey guys, it's your girl Soncerae here. So y'all know I'm big on philanthropy and humanitarianism. Check out my shirt. I got this shirt from my good friends at the Hip Hop Goes Back Foundation. First of all, this ain't even no shirt. It's a hoodie, okay? Y'all see this hoodie? Look at this hoodie. Where on this hoodie does it say Hip Hop Goes Back? Why did I say that? What? I don't even think you picked up on that. Did you hear me say that? I'm sorry. Clearly, the name of this foundation is called Hip Hop Gives Back. What's going on with me? Anyway, continue. It's a nonprofit organization that uses hip hop culture to positively improve the life skills of members of the community. They have a ton of electrifying youth programs and camps. They throw fundraisers, seminars, expos, gaming tournaments, all types of community events. They have bountiful resources for underprivileged families. They do an annual turkey classic with live performances, a celebrity basketball game, food giveaways, all types of vendors. It's pretty cool. I went once when I was in Atlanta. They also team up with this basketball team called the Georgia Spartans. And when I was in Atlanta, I used to go to the Georgia Spartans Health Expos. They're looking for kind hearts to bring value to their organization. So if you are looking to volunteer or donate, please go to hiphopgivesback.org, okay? There you will find their contact information, and make sure that you tell them that Soncerae sent you, okay?